Good morning. I am Samba Siva Rao from Government of Andhra Pradesh. On behalf of the organization which is conducting the seminar and Andhra Pradesh government, I welcome all of you to this conference. I think before you go, you should see some of the important places in Hyderabad like Charminar, Film City, the Sci-Tech City area, and also go for some shopping. Hyderabad is known for these pearls. They're supposed to be available at good qualities, available at cheaper rates. Similarly, Hyderabad is known for certain food preparation like biryani and other things. You must taste before you go, or they may be providing in your restaurants here. Now we have 3 panelists here. Other 2 will be joining shortly. Mrs. Subhash, Joint Secretary to Government of India, will be joining us another 10-15 minutes. I request Dr. S.S. Jena to come and occupy the dais. He is Chairman, National Institute of Open Schooling, Government of India. Then another panelist is Dr. Subir Rai, Technical Advisor, School Education Department, Government of West Bengal. He is also the IT advisor to several departments in West Bengal. I also request Amit Gupta, CEO, Yes Chand. He is another panelist of ours. We'll proceed like this. For about 10-15 minutes, each speaker will be giving a presentation. And after all the panelists make the presentations, we'll have the question and answer session. And that's what we were thinking. If you're okay with it, it's all right. Otherwise, should we have the question and answer session after each presentation? Which one you would like to prefer? So like to have the question and answer session after each presentation. Then we'll be having only about 5 or 6 questions. To save the time, we'll have about 5-6 questions after each panelist makes a brief presentation. And from my side, basically, in the school education department, Andhra Pradesh is slightly different from the other states. We have primary schools, upper primary schools, high schools, and the intermediate. Basically, elementary education includes from 1 to 8. For that, we had an excellent program earlier, which is going on for the last 10 years. That is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. You must be knowing about it. In Andhra Pradesh, we call it as Rajiv Vidya Mission. Major components of that program are civil works, providing the infrastructure like rooms, toilets, drinking water facilities, providing teachers and teacher training programs. Similar program with some difference to improve the access and quality for the secondary and higher secondary education was started recently by Government of India, which is called as Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. This covers 9th class to 12th class. So this is slightly different from the program we have for elementary education. You all know that for elementary education we have it as a fundamental right now. In the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, we have roughly about 37 plus about 15. About 50 lakh students in the state of Andhra Pradesh. As I said, 9th and 10th classes are in the high schools, where we also have 6th, 7th, 8th classes. And there are different junior colleges where we have the 11th and 12th. The major component for this year is the civil works program. At the state level, we have 18,000 high schools and junior colleges. In these 18,000 junior colleges and high schools, we have already introduced ICT in about 7,000 schools, where about 7 private companies are involved. On boot basis, we are implementing this scheme. In about 5,000 we are implementing for the last 2 years. In another 2,000 for the last 1 year, we are implementing the scheme. As you know, the major objective of our RMSA is improving the access and quality. Access is more important at the primary school level because we don't want the children to go for longer distances. And under the Right to Education Act, we should provide the primary education facility within 1 kilometer radius. That's first to fifth class. Facility should be available within 1 kilometer from the habitation. In case of secondary education, that is 9th to 10th, it should be available within 5 kilometers, and 11th and 12th within 7 kilometers. The distance may not be that important. And the usage of ICT and the better teacher training are more important at the secondary and higher secondary levels. I was talking to some of the people who studied in IIT, started their companies. The conceptual clarity the students should have better at the secondary and higher secondary levels. In fact, we will not be having exams and other things up to 8th class as per the Right to Education Act. We are not supposed to conduct exams. But 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th are most crucial for the students. At that level, availability of infrastructure may not be a problem in the future. Even now, we have reasonably good infrastructure. In case of secondary schools, higher secondary will be improving it. And Government of India is going to give substantial amount of money under RMSA. 75% of the required funds will be given by Government of India, 25% by the state government. Same thing for the ICT also. So funds may not be a problem. Earlier, in fact, we were not having the power connection. We were not having the rooms. With those things, it was difficult. But in the last 2 years, with our experience in ICT, infrastructure was not a problem. Whatever computers, servers we have set up in the high schools, they were used reasonably well. But there are certain drawbacks also. Since it's not planned properly, because what we are teaching the children there is basically, once the computers were established, we are teaching them about the Microsoft, Windows, Word, maybe Access and other things. We have not gone into the content part. We have not trained our teachers very well. In fact, e-content development is most important at that stage. There is need for a central agency, a centralized agency. In the government, we don't have that. Maybe site is developing something, but not at such a great scale. It will be better if the NCRT or a state level agency or any private organization develops the e-content and makes it available at a substantially cheaper rate. In some cases, for small things, they were demanding as almost ₹1,00,000 for each school. It costs us about 65 crores for 6,500. Or when we have about 18,000, including private, 12,000 government and aided, it will cost about 120 crores, which is quite high. There is need for developing e-content for these schools at a substantially cheaper rates. The next thing is about teacher training. We do spend a lot of money for teacher training under these programs. As I said, AP has about 4,50,000 teachers. In that, more than 3 lakhs are in the government schools. The remaining are in aided schools and the private schools. Every year we give them the training under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and also the computer training. For each school, we spend about 20,000 under the latest plan for training the teachers in the ICT alone. If some of the companies can prepare a good module, we will be happy to use them in training teachers. Similarly, in the e-content development, and also another issue is I would like to mention here, the database available about the education system is just not adequate in the state of Andhra Pradesh. About few years back, when we have to recruit the teachers, when there were only about 18,000 vacancies, we have notified 30,000 vacancies. That shows the quality of our database. In fact, we would like to link up all these high schools with the district and also the state to have database about the teachers, their qualifications, about the performance of the students. In those areas, the private participation and the participation by different agencies will be of great use. Then another area where we have not done much is when we have got such an excellent tool and when we are spending so much money. Last 2 years, these two plans for about this 7,000 schools, the expenditure from the state government and the government of India is around 700 crores on ICT alone. In case of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan for the other components, this year we are going to spend about 3,000 crores in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Like that, the scheme will continue for some more time. Funds for certain activities may not be a problem. But how can we use this technology and ICT to improve the quality of education, to enhance the performance of the students? Especially in the primary schools, we were told, the Pradham report says, when they surveyed the 5th class students, majority of them, not majority, about 37% were not able to read and write the 2nd or 3rd standard texts. We have to use this technology to improve the performance of the students, to create interest in them, to create a sort of a joyful learning atmosphere for those people, and also enhance the performance of the teachers. I think those areas we have not touched till now. Maybe the government or private agencies, if we can use the technology to enhance the learning levels, to improve the quality, to enhance the teaching capabilities, maybe if they can use the better methods, definitely their teaching quality or their capacities or skills will go up. I request, most of you are from the private organizations and also some of them are from the government organizations, if you can work on those lines, definitely you can also be a part of the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, which will be going on for at least next 10 to 15 years. With these remarks, thanking the organizers for giving me this opportunity, I request Dr. S.S. Jaina, Chairman, National Institute of Open Schooling, Government of India. He was also involved in IGNOU and other areas. In fact, he's the right person to talk about this ICT in RMSA and the education system. Now I request him to make his presentation. Thank you.